We are here today discussing a new trend currently being seen within the UK. It is called North Shoring. John, what can you tell both me and the audience about this relatively new phenomenon?
Well, North Shoring, a term originally coined by consultant Robert Gogol, CEO of Librata, is a domestic response to offshoring, much in the same way that tasks are sent offshore, such as UK companies cutting costs by using overseas call centres. North Shoring is the practice of moving work to the north where labour and accommodation tends to be cheaper. Often the locations for such endeavours are Merseyside, Greater Manchester and the North East.
If this behaviour was to happen across the board, then the economic geography of Britain would transform significantly.
Firstly, London has a plentiful supply of highly educated and skilled labour. Other British regions cannot compete in this area. Secondly, multiculturalism has been a success story in the capital, while there is less creative mingling elsewhere. Thirdly, London is by far the most successful British city in terms of delivering enduring economic success. It has also been argued that employees are often reticent to move up north as the perceived quality of life is lower, as well as the average wage, although it must be said that the cost of living is also significantly lower.
So why is it that so many firms, particularly public bodies, are moving to less traditional locations? There are many examples of large firms and public bodies north shoring.
You are right, of course. The BBC has recently north shored a large percentage of its staff to Salford. British Telecom has opened up a contact centre in South Tyneside, creating 750 jobs which previously would have been offshored.
Okay, but why exactly are these firms choosing north shoring over offshoring or simply internalising?
At the present moment in time, it is not politically feasible to take jobs out of the British economy, which has just entered another recession, and offshore them. Politicians can therefore achieve some level of savings and perhaps acquire some political currency by placing these jobs in marginal constituencies and areas of high unemployment, such as those seen in the north of England. Councillor Ian Malcolm, the leader of South Tyneside Council, said that, due to the tough economic climate we are currently experiencing, public sector bodies across the country are looking for ways to deliver more efficient services without compromising on quality. One of the options they will be looking at is outsourcing, and Bart. South Tyneside is in a strong position to offer exactly what they need. They have access to the region's skilled workforce and can provide outstanding service delivery and value for money. Furthermore, when interviewed by Personal Today magazine, Mr. Gogol said, "We are seeing significant economic regeneration in the north, which has thrown up potential contracts, largely within the public sector," he said. "There are major imbalances within the UK in terms of employment, and we have seen the potential to partner with councils in the northwest particularly to regenerate areas with high unemployment."
Is this just a UK phenomenon? Or do we see evidence of this sort of thing elsewhere?
I'm glad you asked that question. In fact, yes, we are currently seeing instances of what is presently being called nearshoring. This is a policy currently being promoted within the USA as it decreases reliance on Chinese imports and also falls within the North American Free Trade Agreement. Maria Elena Rigoli, the president of Collectron International Management Incorporated, said in an interview that the technology used when producing goods in Mexico's Maquilis is the same or superior to that in the United States, as technology is typically transferred by the contracted companies individually. Additionally, the large pool of educated technicians coming out of Mexico's many technical universities are trained to assemble, package, test and manufacture products in a maquiladora setting. This training is either on par or above the average training manufacturing personnel received north of the border.
Do the same problems exist with north shoring or nearshoring as do with offshoring?
This question is better answered on a case-by-case basis. For example, A council in the southeast of England north shoring jobs to South Shields is unlikely to implement language training for vendors as they already speak the language. However, new technology must still be explained, as well as procedures and policies.
Do you think that north shoring could be perceived as an attempt to stave off the inevitable offshoring of jobs to nations such as Cambodia or Hungary?
This is a valid point and one that should be carefully considered before huge sums of money are invested in infrastructure. I fear that it will be some years before we are truly able to tell if these semi-private and public partnerships are a success.
I think that is our time finished for today. I would just like to thank the audience for taking the time to watch the show.